It's good to know that you are still there. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Now we want to talk about medication storage and handling. Now we have a professional in the house. We have a pharmacy technician, okay, to talk to us on how to do that. Please join me as I welcome Mr. Shagba Humphrey Tehamba. He is the president of the Reform Forum of Pharmacy Technicians in Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Okay, we're talking about storage. Okay, storage. How best or what are the factors we need to consider when storing our drugs at home?
Okay. All right. For storage of drugs at home, we have some factors to consider: the temperature, the
Okay.
humidity,
Mm.
and also child resistance,
Okay.
and then storage in a good temperature. So what I want to say is that in storage of drugs, majorly drugs are meant to be stored in the pharmaceutical premises. When they are outside the pharmaceutical premises, it then means that they are stored at home. So at home, we advise that the public should keep their drugs where children cannot access them. So at your home, you can keep your drugs in a cupboard, maybe close to your bed. It has to be locked so that children cannot
Cannot
access
have
them.
access. Okay.
Yes, and then there are also some containers that are child resistant. And so most of those containers are made in a way that children cannot actually open them. So when these type of drugs are given to patients, we advise them on how to open, because there is a pattern which you can use. Otherwise, a child cannot be able to open it. So we educate the patient on how to open it. That is an adult. Okay, so that's what is being done. At home, the drugs should be kept where children cannot have access to them. And then
Okay.
there are also drugs that are light resistant. So when you have such a drug, we advise that you keep it away from light, because light, when it gets in contact with such a product, it affects its potency. So we advise the patients to keep them away from light. So those are some of the things. And then for others that are liquid in nature, of course, maybe in bottles or such, we don't advise patients to keep them maybe at a high, maybe a table or cupboard. It has to be below so that when they fall, they will not actually break. So that's how drugs should be kept at home.
Okay, so at what temperature? We talked
Okay,
about temperature.
drug storage at we have what is called room temperature, which is between the temperature range of 25 and 30 degrees centigrade. And then there are other drugs that are thermolabile, meaning that they can be destroyed or their potency may be lost if they are not kept within that range. So such products are meant to be kept under the refrigeration, a temperature of 2 to 8 degrees centigrade, such as vaccines. So when we have such products given to patients, we advise them to keep them under the refrigeration, and they have to be monitored. So if it's in a pharmaceutical store, we always have a temperature gauge which we use to track the temperatures of the refrigerator to ensure that they maintain that particular temperature range. For such drugs, even from the production, they are meant to maintain what is known as a cold chain. That is, they have to be at that temperature from the point of production to the final user. So even when they are being transported from the producer to the stores and finally to the patient, they must be kept at that temperature.
Okay, talking about medication disposal, you know, how do we dispose of unused drugs?
Okay,
What's the best way to do that?
the best way to dispose unused drugs is to get in touch with the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria. We have Pharmacy Council of Nigeria in every state. So when you get to the PCN, they will give you the guideline on how to dispose these drugs. It is not advisable to burn them on your own because there is a procedure for the disposal. And when you have such products, either they are expired or they are wasted.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about expired drugs too. Yeah.
So you have to go to the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria and they will give you the guidelines on how to dispose them. In fact, majorly they will collect those drugs. And from there, they will find out a way of disposing the drugs. The patients actually are not supposed to dispose the drugs themselves because
Sorry to interrupt you. You know, some people believe that you can actually just flush them off in your toilet.
it's not
Is it?
actually advisable because
Oh,
even in the toilets, you know that they are always evacuated.
okay.
So at the point of evacuation and drugs, they can still be active within that particular time, meaning that they may be destroyed, but then they still have some excipients and active ingredients within them. We have a case of a drug like metformin, which when we were in school, we were taught that when it was disposed in the water, it affected the fish that were there, even though it got expired. So it actually boosts their replication. So that's what happens.
The replication?
Yes.
Oh,
So actually, drugs, when you want to dispose them, it's better to get in touch with the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria so that they will give you the guideline on how to dispose them.
okay. Now let's look at medication safety
Okay.
for our children. You know, you've talked about at home.
Yeah.
You should be able to keep them away from
From
children and all that and all that. But aside from that, for instance, if you mistakenly left the drugs and the children, maybe a child takes a drug that he or she is not supposed to take, what should be done?
What you need to do at that point is to quickly take that child to the hospital. If it's determined that the child took an overdose of it, then they can now dispense or administer antidotes in order to, take away the effects of the drugs that were taken. So the best way is to take the child to the hospital.
Okay.
That's what needs to be done in such an instance.
Okay, you know, drug abuse is, it's rampant, like,
Yes.
especially amongst our youths.
Okay.
So, for us to stop drug abuse as a pharmacist, what
Pharmacy
would you say?
technician.
Pharmacy technician.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, to stop drug abuse and drug abuse, we have to continue doing more of advocacy and education of the general public. Actually, drug abuse is one of the concerns of health sector currently. And when we educate the public on how to prevent drug abuse, I think it's one of the areas that can be curtailed. And again, for this singular drug abuse, it has caused a lot of havoc in the society. Dependence, which is addiction, they get addicted and they end up wasting their resources on taking some of these drugs without prescription. So it's advisable that any time you are not healthy, the best way to get yourself well treated is to approach a health center or a clinic where you'll be assessed. That condition or the ailment you are suffering from can be well managed.
Okay.
And by that time, you see that drug abuse will be curtailed.
Okay. So, for you, first, you said a pharmacy technician
Yes.
and then a pharmacist. What's the difference?
Well, the difference is that pharmacy technicians are healthcare providers trained in all the aspects of pharmaceutical services to render able assistance to the pharmacist.
Okay.
Yes, then the pharmacists are trained at the university with requisite knowledge of drugs and matters therewith.
Okay.
And as such, they can stand in for every legal matter that has to do with drugs, administrations, and other. So a pharmacy technician is trained at colleges or schools of health technology, and their responsibility is to render able assistance to the pharmacist. And by this, it implies that they carry out many services ranging from dispensing of drugs, counseling of the patient on the use of the drugs, as well as optimizing the maintenance of dispensing equipment and all of that. And they also fill prescriptions. They dispense prescriptions to patients. And this dispensing of these prescriptions has to be verified by the pharmacist. And where the pharmacists are not there, probably in the rural or remote areas, they have their position there, such that any area they have challenges, they refer to the pharmacist. So the pharmacist and the pharmacy technicians, they work in collaboration. And all they look forward to is to optimize the overall health of the patients.
Okay. I want you to, as a pharmacy technician now, I know a lot of people are watching, and you have just told us one or two ways to handle medication. Okay, so what will be your final word? We've talked about drug abuse, we talked about how to handle, storage, handling, and all that. So just
Well, what I have to say is that pharmacy technicians training has come to stay. The training has been under the regulation, and it has been under the regulation by the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria. And currently, they have co-joined with NBTE to award a national diploma in pharmacy technician. So these pharmacy technicians, of course, in the pharmaceutical space, the pharmacists and the pharmacy technicians are the core professionals, the only professionals in this sector. So I will continue to advocate that these professionals should be the only professionals to be allowed to handle drugs. Because, for instance, we are looking at the health and safety of the populace. These professionals are the ones that are trained with full knowledge of these drugs and matters therewith. And of course, if we want to optimize the overall health of Nigerian populace, then we should ensure that only these two cadre of professionals handle drugs. Because if any other personality comes in there who do not have this knowledge, they cannot be able to handle these drugs appropriately. Just as we mentioned the aspects of the storage, most of the persons who are not trained in this sector, they may not know how to even store these drugs. They may not even know how to counsel patients on how to take the drugs. They may not have that knowledge on how the drugs are administered. And again, talking about the side effects and all of that, they may not have this knowledge. So it is advisable. I keep telling people I interact with, and even most times when I interact with the regulatory agencies, I keep on advocating, let the government or the regulatory agencies come up with policies that will allow only pharmacists and pharmacy technicians to handle drugs in Nigeria. Going forward, you will discover that before now, pharmacy technicians were not enough in the country. But with the increasing number of training institutions currently, we have more than 5,000 or above pharmacy technicians. And most of them now do not have job opportunities because of the increasing number. So one thing is, if the government now streamline the practice of pharmacy to only pharmacists and pharmacy technicians, you will discover that the health of the Nigerians will be optimized so that they will not be prone to receiving drugs from people who do not undergo the formal trainings in the schools. So we equally had a national conference, which is the first one, and that was on Monday, 14th and 15th. So the conference actually looked at navigating the evolving regulatory landscape, pharmacy technicians as agents of change. Because this we intend to show to the public and the Nigerians that pharmacy technicians are prepared to optimize the health of Nigerians. And as such, there are some regulatory aspects of it which we needed to be well informed of. So the conference and other workshops that will continue to come up in the future, we intend to ensure that we re-strategize and make pharmacy technicians become well known in the society, so that anywhere they go, they can easily render their services, and Nigerians should not be questioning of who is a pharmacy technician, because many people don't know about pharmacy technicians. So that was the key aspect of it, and the conference was able to draw the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria to the conference and the PSN president and all of that. So we want to have a collaboration in the health sector, especially the pharmaceutical sector, so that we join hands together to ensure that Nigerians get the best of pharmaceutical services.
Yes, thank you. And you have said it all, that the government need to come in for us to, especially the area of fake drugs. A lot of fake drugs and drug abuse issues and so on and so forth. So thank you. We've been talking about medication storage and handling, and we just had a pharmacy technician, in the person of Mr. Shagba Humphrey Tehimba. He is the president of the Reformed Forum of Pharmacy Technicians in Nigeria. Thank you so much. Okay, please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. We're on to our second conversation for the day. So I have my second guest in the house, and our conversation is on fashion trends. So I have two beautiful fashion designers in the house to talk to us about fashion trends. Please join me as I welcome Idrisu Fatima.
Good morning.
Good morning, and I have Ojo Onida Mola. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. And I say a very good morning to you. So how are you doing? Fashion designers, I can see the evidence. It's just clear. All right, let's start by looking at the inspiration. As a designer, where did you get your inspiration from? Where?
No, fashion designers we get inspirations from various places, various thoughts, thinking, from nature as well.
Okay.
We get the inspiration from nature. You can see flowers now, the way the colors is, and you just get your inspiration. Wow, I love this flower.
Okay.
I love the color actually. You get your inspiration from there, and also from social media.
Oh.
Yeah, you get your inspiration as well from social media.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of designers everywhere. You can just tap from this person, tap from this person, tap from this person, and just
And you just so imagine you taking the design of my skirt, joining it with the design of her blouse, and you just get a unique design. Okay. Now, Fatima, for you, when did you discover that you have this flair for fashion, or you want to go into fashion design?
It's been so long, like as long as I just finished my secondary education. My mother actually advised me into it. At some point, I ran away from it. I didn't want to do it. And then immediately after the university, I now found out that I loved it. I got this passion for it, and then I had to go learn it more. So I started actually after my university education.
Okay. I always ask people, what are the first steps as a fashion designer? For instance, I want to go into fashion design. What are those, what will I call them, the steps, the major steps, or how will I put it now, qualities that I should have if I can go into fashion design?
I think fashion designing is just, is you really need to know if you want to go into it.
Okay.
Like there are some kids now, some kids right from their childhood, you see that they have this passion for, clothing. They just
like
go
that,
to
passion.
yes,
So there must be passion.
yes, there
Yes.
must be
Okay.
passion. Clothing. You see some kids as little as they had will start dressing up. They'll tell their mom, this is what I like. No, this is what I want. This is the way I want to combine it.
You want to color, yes,
Some color combinations, they are like that. And when you say, this child likes fashion, this guy likes fashion. Yes. So I think it starts from when they are living.
Okay.
And as time goes on, I think some people will just find that passion later on. Like someone like me, I didn't, it wasn't for my childhood. It was when I finished university and my sister's wedding. I saw the person that made my clothes was as young as I was. Then I said, if this girl can make this clothes, so why can't I? Yes.
Okay.
Then I went to meet her if she could train me. She said no, she can't, that she already has someone with her. She was just doing it from the house, from her family house. So it's going to be crowded for her, like choked up for her. So I said, no problem. Then I was thinking about it. I put my prayers about it, and from there it started.
So, Fatima, for you, how do you keep yourself updated with trends, latest designs, and so how do you keep yourself updated?
It's definitely social media.
Oh,
Definitely.
okay.
Yes, we need, as designers, as time goes on, things changes.
Mm.
You need to keep yourself informed.
Mm.
And the very best way in this generation to do that is through the social media.
Okay.
So that's more like a major help. It plays a major role in our research for new designs. So you get to know what's in trend.
Okay, for you, the industry, I'm sure if you think back to maybe, let's just say 5 years, 10 years back, we've made progress.
Yes.
So what would you say?
So much progress. Like in Africa, Nigeria is number one. Nigeria is number one. Even the world is recognizing our fashion now. So the fashion industry is just top notch in Nigeria. It's one of the industry that has greatly improved. That's greatly improved. Everybody knows that.
Because like they are rocking our Ankara everywhere.
The tension is everywhere. Even as young designers, when you see this, when you see what designers are making, you be like, it's like I'm not working enough.
Wow.
It's like I'm not working enough. You can use all your money. Yes, you want to use all your money to upgrade.
Yes.
To upgrade. When you see top designers, the next clothes they will bring home.
The
Oh my
showcase,
God!
yeah.
Yeah, that they showcase. You want to use all your life savings to look at your
Yes.
like you've not started.
Wow.
And that's more like the ginger
That's the
spirit.
genius. I really love Nigerian fashion designers. Like they're making it look like it's competition.
Wow.
But that's good. Competition in a good way.
Yes.
Okay.
That's actually very good.
Okay, there is something that, discussing earlier, I said there's something I always ask designers: quality control, your finishing. You know, what do you think can be? Because, like, for instance, if you make a dress for me, I want to turn it upside down.
Yes.
I want to look at the inside.
Yes.
I look at for your finishing. So, what do you think some designers? Because I know it's not all.
Yes.
Some people take time to make sure that they check. So, what do you think?
Quality control is more about the finishing. Actually worked as one before. And then you check, you start by checking. You have to do a whole lot of check. I start from the lines. You check the lines meeting where you're supposed to meet. You check the dart lines. You check the zippers. You check the hem. You need to turn inside out and check what colors of thread, whether they tally with the color of the fabric.
Yeah.
Quality control it plays a major role in production. If there's no quality control officer to check out for these things I've stated, your work is not complete. Because you can check, you can go to some boutiques and you check their clothes and the lines are not straight. That's a big turn off for me as a fashion designer,
Honestly.
especially at the hem. And then there are some dresses like what you're wearing now. You might have a dart at the upper part and the line at the waist part and then another dart at the down part. You find that some people's darts are not aligning. That's not good work. And of course, there are some styles that they're not supposed to align, but they do them reasonably.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what's your take?
My take is okay. On social media, there's this white woman. I've forgotten her name. This woman went to a boutique and she was looking at the interior, that the inside of the outfit. She said, if the finishing of the clothes, if it's not piped.
Yes. I think I like that.
Yes. She doesn't want to see any weaving, weaving. Yes, she doesn't want to see you weave anything.
I think piping is even better.
Yes. She said if the dress is not piped or the trouser is not piped, she will not buy it.
Wow.
Yes.
I think I prefer the piping than the weaving.
Yes.
I prefer it.
It makes it look neater and more classy.
This question is, we are Nigerians, so how lucrative is this business? Have you started, let's know, dollars, pounds? I don't know.
If you know what you are doing, fashion designing is very lucrative in Nigeria.
Yes, it is.
Nigerians love fashion. Whether male, whether female, we dress.
Whether there's money or no money, people
dress
to
kill.
We dress to kill.
Yes, that's the
use.
impression. Every Nigerian, when they are going for party, when they are going for any outing, what they have at the back of their mind is that I want to be the best.
This part.
Yes. This
So
party I'm going to.
fashion.
Yes. Yes, they
conscious
want to
of
be the
fashion.
best. So this one will wear the best, this one will wear the best, this one will wear the best. Can you just imagine how colorful and how elegant everybody will be looking at the party? Yes, so fashion is top notch in Nigeria.
It's lucrative.
It is.
All right. Now, for someone who wants to go into fashion, what would you say? Let me start with you. In 1 minute, what would you say to someone who has decided, okay, I want to choose fashion as a profession? So, what would you say to the person? What's your
Yeah,
advice?
fashion is something that I can tell anybody to go into because it is highly lucrative.
Mm.
But can you deal with the stress? Yes, you have to be determined. You have to be very, very determined. And another advice is that follow these big designers. They will motivate you. When you see a big designer making this outfit and she tells you, I made this clothes this so amount, you'll be motivated. And wow, if she can do it, everybody starts from somewhere. Nobody starts to be great immediately. They all started very little, just like you. So seeing all these people will motivate you that, oh, they were once like me, so I can definitely be like them tomorrow. So that is what I will advise younger people that if it's not easy, sometimes you feel like you relate because it's very stressful. Very stressful. But when you keep up with these designers and also social media on fashion, you will definitely be motivated.
Okay, there's something that just came into my mind now. As a fashion designer, do you also sketch your designs? That means you must be,
Definitely.
you must know how to draw.
Yes.
For you to, okay, so it's not that you have someone separate who sketches.
So no, you don't necessarily have to be the one to sketch.
Okay, somebody.
Yes, you can
just-
have someone, and then it's also an edge if you can sketch
Oh,
on your own,
beautiful.
because
Beautiful.
by so doing, you'll be able to put down ideas.
Okay.
You'll be able to really send a message of what is in your heart through
Okay.
your drawing.
Okay.
So you can really design what is on your mind.
Okay.
So sketching
In
is
one
very
word,
important.
what would you say to somebody who wants to, or who is maybe the person, like you said, stressed, and the person is getting discouraged? What would you say to the person in one word?
Just be courageous.
Ah.
Just take courage and be patient.
Wow, thank you so much. It's been fun talking to two of you. And, as you're talking about fashion, no women, we love fashion. Thank you so much, Fatima. Thank you, Damola. Yes, thank you so much. So we've been talking to these wonderful fashion designers. You can see the evidence, okay? Now, if you want to go into fashion, she didn't say there's not going to be stress, but there's going to be stress. But when you put your heart to it, and she said, follow designers. Follow the super model designers, and you will learn a lot from them. We hope you've been able to make up your mind to go into fashion. And if you're discouraged, I hope you've changed your mind and you're pushing ahead. It's a good morning, Abuja. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is still Good Morning Abuja on NTH Channel 5, the Unity Station. We have a comedian in the house. Okay, he is Chibeze Ikechukwu Prince, aka King Jaja. So please join us as we welcome him. Oh yes. So I'm clapping for you as you're clapping for
I'm
yourself.
clapping for myself too.
That's good. That's a good one.
Thank you.
King Jaja.
Good morning.
Good morning, comedian. Wow. Now, my first question to you is, when did you start, or how, or no, at what point did you discover that you are funny or you can make people laugh?
Okay, the question is very, very important to me because I will say all my life
Hmm.
I've always known that people like coming around me.
Okay.
Yes. Even when I was small, when I was growing up, I find out that even when we go to church, my younger brother used to be in the choir. Me, I just watch them pick from whatever they are doing to crack joke. I never knew it's all about comedy.
Okay.
So it has been part of me until now.
Oh,
So I won't say when I started
yes.
comedy.
But you
I
just
will
know that it's inborn.
just in me.
Yes.
It's just
Okay,
in me.
so how do you get updated, the comedy? I know that if you don't update yourself, you won't have funny
Yeah.
jokes of them.
You know, As a comedian, one of the things that makes you stand out is spontaneity.
Okay.
Yes. You just come into a place, pick something and make jokes out of it.
Mm.
And that has been my pattern.
Okay.
Officially, I would say officially, I, as a professional comedian, I just started.
Okay.
But it has been a long time. Like I would say 14 years ago. Yes. It was my friend that just met me and said, look, you can do this comedy. Why are you wasting your talent? And lucky enough for me, it was during the time Night of a Thousand Laughs was
Wow.
in
Okay.
vogue. And at that point, Upper Williams, being the owner of Night of a Thousand Laughs, decided to search for young talents. So this my friend came to me and said, okay, King Jaja, you can do this thing. The name came before even I started comedy. Yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes. So he said, you can do this thing now. Is it not this thing these people are doing? That's the same thing you're doing. The difference is just that they are professional. They are taking it as what they do for a living.
Yes.
You are just doing it for fun. And I said, okay. We decided to register because they said we have to go online and register and all that. So we did that and I submitted my form and after everything, they called me for the contest. I went and eventually I came out first in
Wow.
Abuja, yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow. Congratulations.
2010.
Wow. So that's what has been.
So, and funny enough, like people used to tell me, I have some of my colleagues, they are now big boys. If I begin to mention names now,
So are you not a big boy?
No, I'm a big boy. It's just that the funny thing about it is that I find out one thing in life. No matter how talented you are, you need somebody to push you.
Yeah.
You need
a
somebody to
mentor.
guide you, no matter how talented you are.
Okay.
That is why most times you see good footballers, they end up not playing football because they enter into they don't go for training, they don't go for rehearsals.
Okay.
No, they just enter into the pitch and do more than what you that have been in the pitch for more than how many months.
Okay.
So within them, they feel, is this thing now? I can just go and do it. But not knowing that the more you put seriousness to whatever you're doing, it pays off.
Okay.
So like me now, what I did was, after I won the National Comedy Challenge in Abuja, we went to Lagos and I did not win in Lagos. So when I came back, I said, why am I even wasting my time? So I left the industry again.
Wow.
So people now call me for just MC.
Okay.
But while doing the MC, I cracked jokes.
Okay.
So again, people now started pushing me. It was the push that led to my just concluded show.
Okay, now my question to you. This one is very interesting. No, we are Nigerians.
Yes.
How lucrative is this business? Have you started using Ghana must go to carry money to the bank?
Yes, I wouldn't say I've started using Ghana must go physically, but in the dream.
Are you
Yes,
serious?
I'm seeing myself carrying Ghana must go.
Okay, that's why you're a comedian.
Yes,
that's why you're a comedian. So now, I'm sure there are people watching you, especially younger ones, that want to go into comedy.
Yeah.
Just 1 minute. In 1 minute, what would you say to the person?
Okay, what I would say to them is this. I wouldn't want them to be like me because grace differs.
Yeah.
I would want them to be more serious, more focused. It's not as if I am not focused in what I was doing, but a bit I was distracted.
Okay.
So I wouldn't want them to be distracted. This time around, if you know you have this talent in you, work on it. Just follow it up. Follow it up no matter how far. Everybody must not have 100% talent. No.
Okay.
Some are giving 20, some are giving 10, some are giving 50. But that little one you have, if you work on it, you even be better than those that have 100 that did not work. So hard work pays. So my advice for them is put hard work to whatever you're doing.
And the sky will be their starting point.
It's just the starting
and
point.
I pray for you that not only in the dream will you carry Ghana must go of money, but physically you will carry it, not just in naira, dollars, pounds.
Amen.
Don't worry, you'll soon be announced.
You see, you just added dollars. Me, I just saw naira. Now you added dollars.
I've added. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're
like
welcome.
I said, the sky will be your starting point.
Amen.
And we're here. When you blow, come back well.
Of course, definitely. In fact, I will not promise you money. You know, money has power. If I promise you money now, it's not as if the money will not come. But when it comes to release that money, if you had me,
Please,
so I know promise you
are a
money.
comedian, I understand.
But when the money comes, I will come back.
You will come back. All right, we'll be speaking with Chibeze Ikechukwu Prince, aka King Jaja. You heard what he said. Whatever talent you have, it doesn't matter how small. Work on it, and the sky will be your starting point. It's been Good Morning Abuja. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.